great to see you again. It's very exciting times here at dynaCERT. I'm going to go through our presentation, but I'm going to go through the presentation relatively quickly because I think there's a lot more questions and a lot more exciting things to talk about than what's currently in our presentation. Okay, I just want to talk, for those that are not familiar with dynaCERT, dynaCERT is a carbon emission reduction technology. We are a company that has gained international growth. We are in sales. We have a commercialized product, which is a diversification in the trucking, mining, oil and gas. Actually, we've just now merged into locomotive also, but we have a very unique product. And so we have patented technologies. First of all, we currently hold over 21 patents in 6 different families. dynaCERT's developed and commercialized patented proprietary electrolyzer, which we call the hydrogen. Now, the hydrogen, what it actually does is it produces measured amounts of hydrogen and oxygen and feeds it to the internal combustion engine to enhance the burn. We are not a fuel, we are a catalyst. By doing this, we've improved the fuel economy, we increase more power, more torque, but I think the most important thing these days is we do reduce the emissions very significantly of a diesel engine, and this is happening right at the source or right at the combustion. So we do this through very low power demand from the engine. We take a small amount of power from the engine. We have a very unique, like I said, a patented technology that adapts to internal combustion engines. Our focus has been initially was Class 8 trucks or diesel trucks, big transport trucks. We have now moved into the mining, large generators. We've developed units for reefers and construction equipment. And like I said, just most recently, we've now moved into the locomotive industry. In 2022, we firmly believe this is a very timely investment opportunity, certainly with the oil prices where they are, the global economy, learning to how to generate or impact COVID slowdown, but really, our biggest focus has been and certainly gaining recognition worldwide is in 2 things. It's in the fuel consumption or the improved fuel consumption. Certainly with fuel prices nowadays, it makes a big difference. But I like to say we were ESG before ESG was popular. You look at our technology, we are a Canadian company with a global solution to reduce pollution. This shows you the emission benefits. With our technology, we reduce the NOx, or the NOx, which is the most deadly gas produced by a diesel engine. We're reducing this up to 88%. The CO2, we're reducing it between 6 and 19%. The CO up to 47%. The reduction of hydrocarbons up to 57%, and the particulate matter north of 55%. I like to say we reduce the emissions or the toxic gases within the emissions north of 50% clear across the board. Then again, we lower the consumption and maintenance of a vehicle. We improve the fuel economy and average 6 to 19%. The reduction in the DEF fluid, which certainly in Europe now, I understand there's quite a shortage of DEF fluid. It's happening around the world. We reduce the usage of that on an average up to 51%. And we do that because the DEF fluid is designed to reduce the NOx. But because we do reduce the NOx so significantly right at the combustion, the computer of the engine determines it does not need near as much DEF fluid. We also increase the diesel particulate filter, the life of the filter, by an average of 33%. And that is certainly because of the reduction in the particulate matter or the black smoke. And then oil changes. This is interesting. We estimate the reduction of oil changes up to 25%. We actually had testing done on 2 transport trucks, both running the same year, same everything, one with our unit on, one without our unit. It was interesting. It came back, an average truck, a typical oil change has 8% soot content. It's soot that breaks down the oil and starts wearing out the engine. with our technology on it, it came back at less than 1% soot content because the engine is burning so much cleaner and running so much cleaner. We've had independent validations, and this was something that was very, very important to me before we really started marketing. You know, we had University of Ontario, we did validations and testing there early in the stage. Then we went to PIT Group here in Canada. PIT Group is the gold standards certainly in Canada, if not in North America. Then we went to Europe and we wanted to get homologation. We had it tested through, we worked with TÜV North and TÜV South in Europe. They used Continental Emitech to do the testing, and they tested and validated the product, which gave us the homologation. Our current product line, you know, originally the HG1 was our go-to-market product. That was designed for an average truck, you know, 10 to 15 liter engines. Then we developed the HG2 series for the smaller engines, 1 to 8 liter. That was original. Our focus on that was for the refrigerated containers and the reefers, because they have a smaller diesel engine that runs 24/7 to keep things cool. By adding our technology, it's improved the fuel economy and again, reduce the emissions. But where we have really gained a lot of recognition over the last year is certainly in the mining industry. You look at our HG4Cs and HG6Cs, these are very large units. They are units the size of a small deep freeze. We'll see later a picture of one on these big earth-moving trucks. I mean, they look like a small pimple on the side of the truck, but at the same time, you know, they are large. They produce the right amount of gas for these large diesel engines. And, you know, if we go back and we look at just recently our press releases, we've had 6 of the 10 largest mining companies in the world, which have now ran pilot projects over the last year, had various successful with the pilot projects, and are now starting to outfit their fleets. So the HG1 series, I mean, this was for, you know, for greener transportation. Like I said, this was for the 10 to 15 liter engines, reducing fuel consumption up to 10%. Actually, we're seeing, you know, north of 10% typically. This was for the transportation, passenger transport, power, smaller power generation, construction, and certainly agriculture and mining. And where this is really making a huge difference, like I said, nowadays with the fuel prices, this is important, but also with the global focus now on reducing greenhouse gases, with our technology, it is reducing the greenhouse gases north of 50%. That is helping these companies now meet their ESG goals, and certainly everybody's goal these days are to reduce the greenhouse gases. And this is working. This is a technology that is here today. This is something that's important. We're not a futuristic product, you know, and I understand, you know, the world's global attempt to get to zero emissions. But right now, with our technology, this is a technology that can bolt on any diesel engine today and make such a significant difference. This just shows you, you know, on the transport trucks, you know, pictures of it. You can see our units mounted on the back of a truck. It's about the size of a small carry-on suitcase. And then here's one on a bulldozer, and you can see it here on dump truck. Here's our current units now, our HG1s. They are a more rugged unit. Again, this is on different applications on trucks. And then we've got them on mining equipment. Now this one here is on underground mining equipment. This was tested and is now running in mines here in Northern Ontario. Again, this is our HG2 unit. Like I said, these are the ones that were originally designed for reefer trailers and stuff like that. Now I have had one of these put on. I run a diesel pickup, an F250. It's interesting. I put one on my truck. It moved the fuel. It improved the fuel economy from 12% to 9% within 1 month of putting this technology on. Here's where we're really seeing a lot of acceptance in the market also. These are the large power generation applications. These particular ones here are working in the mining industry, running drilling rigs and stuff like that. We are getting repeat orders literally on a daily basis now for these applications here in Canada in the oil fields. Then again, we look at the larger units, HG4 series, and again the HG6 series. Like I said, these ones were designed specifically for the mining industry. Going on the large mining trucks. Now you look at these large mining trucks that are operating in open pit mines. That is certainly a big concern for them is the pollution, especially you get down deep in the open pit mines. The air quality is so poor because of the emissions. This has made such a significant difference for them, reducing the emissions. But at the same time, with a 10% fuel savings, these trucks burn in excess of $1 million per year in diesel fuel. So our units are now showing a return on investment in less than 6 months, just on the fuel savings. Then you add all the additional benefits from the emissions and the longevity of the engines. Like I said, so you can see here, this is a mining application. These are the large trucks. You see that yellow up there, that is our unit on it. So, although they look big in scale, when you see them here on the floor, you put them on those trucks, they're not that big. Our target markets or current markets, we are in buses now. We're in buses. We've gained a lot of recognition in the municipalities and stuff like that. We've now got them in several municipalities here in Ontario, running on their buses and their garbage trucks. Again, the refrigerated trailers, small trucks or delivery trucks, obviously the Class 8 trucks, the large transport trucks, power generation, farming, construction, mining. Our planned future is passenger vehicles, small marines. We've actually now in smaller marines, we're looking at the ocean vessels or the large container ships. It's interesting to, you look at one container ship, and I understand the importance of EV, and it's certainly, especially in cities and stuff like that for passenger cars. But when you look at these ocean container ships, these are something that have run under the radar screen for years now. They are now getting more scrutinized, but one container ship puts out the equivalent of 50 million cars per year in pollution. So it doesn't take very many container ships to be equal to every vehicle that's running on the roads today. Now, locomotives, this was, when this was done, this was our target market. We have just recently entered into this market. This is very exciting for me. We've got the first locomotive company that is, running our technology just as recent as the last 2 weeks. Again, this just shows you some of the diverse applications, running from underground mines to the large open pit mines to construction equipment to bulldozers and also to the large power generators. We talk about the large power generators. We also just recently announced Valet in Boise Bay here in Canada. They just ordered and just had them. They're actually being installed as we speak. 6 of the very large 6Cs for one of their massive generator plants. Because the reality is, we look at the mining industry, we look at so many remote areas, they are still so dependent on diesel and on power generation. And, this is not going anywhere anytime soon. You look at the value proposition to our end user. Now, this is on a typical Class 8 truck. Class 8 truck runs on an average 161 kilometers a year. So if we look at 8% fuel savings, the cost of our unit and the cost of the fuel. Now, this was done with the cost of fuel $2 a liter. As we all know, diesel fuel is way above and beyond that. But just at that, their return on investment is less than 9 months, just based on the fuel savings. We look at the market size. I mean, the total internal combustion engine market is massive. There's over 100 million of these currently in the market today. So the market is massive. The market is not getting any smaller anytime soon. We currently have over 47 dealers now in 55 countries of the world. We are a Canadian company, but we are a global company serving, all these countries. We are shipping units around the world now, literally on a daily basis. The other thing that's important to understand, we have what we call the hydrolytica. Now, the hydrolytica is something that we've developed, we've patented. This is, I like to say it's like a fleet management system on steroids, but this really, what it does, it shows the end user the actual fuel savings, the actual reduction in emissions, and the greenhouse gas reductions in real time. And this is so important to the future of this company because we are moving into the carbon credit world. We've spent over 2.5 years with Verra, which is the largest governing body in carbon credits. They have approved our methodology. We are literally on the final stages of going through the audit for that for carbon credits. Carbon credits, I've always believed, is a huge part of the future of this country or this company, and it is something that we are now gaining worldwide recognition in. We look at our current business model. We've got over $90 million expended with 18 years of research and development. We have an assembly plant here in Toronto, which was newly upgraded in the past year and a half. Currently, we've got the capacity in here to produce over 70,000 units per year of our HG1s. We've also just expanded our assembly for the mining industry, for the large units, for the HG4s and the HG6s. I'd like to do a quick comparable of our technology. You look at trailer skirts. I remember back, I was at one of the largest trucking shows in the world. I think it was 6 years ago. And at that time is when the trailer skirts were first launched. I can remember everybody talking, they said, there is no way we will ever put those on our trucks. Today, you are hard pressed to find a transport anywhere, certainly in North America, and I believe around the world, that's not carrying these skirts. These skirts on an average cost of $3,000 to install, and they say they improve the fuel economy by 1%. You look at our vehicle or our application where we are improving the fuel economy on an average up to 10%. You look at the comparison, our unit where it's all in cost of $10,000 to a unit, to a user, compared to this. I think it is a very, very excitable and very notable thing. But again, I want to talk about the carbon credits. This is certainly a big part of our future. This is, with Verra, where Verra has, like I said, they have now approved our methodology. It is actually on their website, and we are literally just going through the final stages of the audit where this thing will be recognized worldwide. And I want to talk briefly about that, something that we have just launched in the last week. And this is something that was very unique. Actually, we had just the other day, a company we were talking to, they said this selling of carbon credit futures by the way of convertible note is certainly the most innovative way to raise capital they've ever seen. We have launched a capital raise for $10 million. It is a convertible note converting to carbon credits. And I remember, last time I was on here, I think I was questioned at one point and people said, Jim, are you going to do a capital raise and dilute the stock? I said, I have no interest in diluting the stock. This is something that was very, very important to me. And we look at what we are doing today. I mean, we are doing capital raise. There is zero dilution to the stock. This is, in selling carbon credit futures. This is, I believe we are the first company that has ever done this in this type of an application. It's been approved through TSX, everything like that. We are getting huge response. We've already got our first lead orders for this. We expect to close this over the next few weeks. But it is a way that we could capitalize the company because we are now going through such exponential growth. And the exponential growth is because of the because of the sales. We are having sales coming in literally on a daily basis now. We are shipping around the world. We need to expand the company. We need to grow the company. We also need to grow management and internal people here to be able to meet these demands. So I certainly found this as a very, very innovative and a very good way to be able to capitalize the company and capitalize the growth without doing any dilution. We look at the shareholder base. I mean, the company has very strong shareholders. 66,000 or 42% of it is held by retail shareholders, 31% by management insiders, 25% by institutionals. Eric Sprott holds just north of 8% of this company. Eric Sprott was a very large supporter of the company and a very strong believer in the future of carbon credits. I can remember my first conversation with him. At first, he wanted to invest a small amount, and then he came back and said, "No, Jim, I want to increase my investment because of the future of carbon credits, and I don't see another company in the world better positioned to take advantage of this than dynaCERT." Certainly, we look at the high barriers to entry. We have worldwide patents, and very unique patents. Like I said, we have now currently 21 patents in 6 different families. One of the patents that we have is the means and methods of monitoring and monetizing carbon credits within internal combustion engines. This is a very, very solid patent to me. We spent a lot of time, a lot of money, certainly securing these patents worldwide because of our technology, because of the future of where we're going. We've certainly made some very significant progress over the last 2 years, with the robust product redesign of our hydrogen, and specifically in the larger units. We spent a lot of time over the last 2 years when we were shut with COVID, where we really expanded our research and development and really focused primarily on the larger units, which we have now got such good world recognition, like I said, in the mining industry. You look at the management, and we've got strong management of the company, but this is an area where I want to increase, over the next year. Also our board of directors. So we have corporate offices here in Toronto. We also have offices in Germany. We have dynaCERT GmbH in Germany, where we've got an office there and a facility there where we can distribute throughout Europe. I know that I went through that fairly quickly, but I really wanted to be able to, more focus on where we are today, certainly with the growth of the company, where we're seeing this growth happening, especially in the trucking industry, in the municipalities, in the oil fields, the mining industries, and now the locomotive industry. And also I wanted to briefly talk about the future of this company, where we have also really expanded our research and development, done a lot of work in the AEM technology, where we believe we are at the forefront of this. This is something that we have not spent a lot of time talking about yet. Certainly in the new year, we want to really expand on this and let people know where we're going with this, with our AEM technology, and with the projects that we are looking at with producing large amounts of hydrogen, green hydrogen, and being able to produce this on demand. But with our AEM technology, this gives us the ability to certainly produce very high volume of green hydrogen in the high pressure. There's so many applications worldwide for this, and you look at the mining, and you look at the oil companies, but you look at the steel and stuff like that. There is many applications for this, which is a big part of our future. Okay, so I want to leave it at that. I want to sort of open it up to questions. And
thank you, Jim. Yeah, there are actually quite a lot of questions in the chat. I don't think we have time to answer all of them, but you can send us a one-on-one request, and maybe we can bundle up all those questions and forward them to you. Maybe that helps. Starting at the top, so the first one was about the carbon credit approval. What are still the obstacles that are in the way for the approval?
I don't see any obstacles. We are, like I said, Verra has already approved the methodology. It is now on their website. It is an approved methodology. We are working with, this is an approved auditors from Vera, which we are just going through the final stages of the audit. And this is really comes down to the analytics, to the data. We're now setting up a full data center here for this because it is 100% data driven. And this is something that, where Vera and certainly the auditors have came back and said, Jim, we see this as the most exciting thing we've ever been involved with in carbon credits, because with your carbon credits, it is 100% on emission reduction and it is 100% data driven. There is no human intervention. This is proven technology that is improving the emissions and reducing the emissions, but it is 100% data driven, drawn right from the computer of the engine.
And another question is, how close are you to sales in the oil sands in Alberta?
We are working very closely with them. We have, matter of fact, yesterday we just got another sizable order from them. We have a lot of exciting things happening there right now, and that is a big part of our growth.
And what is the percentage assignment of sales in terms of in Class 8 trucks, in mining, in power generations, grid generators, and so on? Can you say something about that?
Yeah, well, we look at power generation. I mean, now we talk the oil fields and stuff like that. A lot of it is power generation because they use these large power generators to run the drilling rigs and stuff like that. Then again, like I said, Boise Bay, we just sent them, a large order for the large 6Cs. But I would say in the power generation right now, we are probably 20%. I would say in the trucking industry, we are probably 40%. And then in the mining industry, I would say that we are now at 40%.
And do you see any sales in Europe or in Germany? And especially now after the European homologation for the new units, what are the newest developments in Europe?
Well, very soon we're going to put out an update on the European market. We are seeing, sales starting to pick up very significantly over there. And also, I mentioned the locomotive industry. Although I can't go into fine details or mention companies at this point, but this is happening in Europe. There is, we've got another very large company over there that right now doing their own pilot project. They are seeing great results, and they are very excited to start really promoting this product there.
And you're at a lot of fairs like the IIA Transportation or Truck World Canada. How was the response there from customers?
The response has been very good. Certainly from IAA, it's interesting that we're still getting responses on a daily basis now. Even one of the largest diesel engine manufacturers in India just reached out to us recently, and we're in talks with them right now of a potential licensing agreement. And this was through them being at IAA and seeing our technology and then doing their further due diligence. So, it's funny, you work and work and work, and it seems like, and then all of a sudden you see an overnight success, and everybody's, looks and says, well, why didn't you do that before? No, I mean, we work and work and work, and you build these, you build this up, and then all of a sudden the overnight success is because of everything that we've done over the last couple of years. So.
Okay, so sadly we just ran out of time, but there are so many other questions. But yeah, just send an email to us and we try to forward them to you, Jim. Thank you very much. Great presentation as always. And thank you for all the answers to all these questions.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.